Hello, hello. How is everyone? Hello. Hello, Felina. Thank you for the meat spiders. Hello, hello. Let's just chatting. Hi. Hello. We're gonna start playing the game soon. I'm just saying hi. Oh. Okay. I don't know how to turn those off. They shouldn't be on. I don't know how to turn those off. We're not gonna worry about it right now. It's fine. It's fine. Apologies for the ads. But hello. You can hear the chill music. So if it's too loud, let me know. I did turn it up because it was very quiet for OBS. So yeah. Fair, just want to let you know. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. Hi. We're gonna be playing my favorite game with my virtual husbands. Probably just gonna get into that fairly quickly because I'm excited. I have played this game before a lot, more than I should. But yeah. Music is a bit hard to hear, but I only have one headphone in and music playing in the studio. Gotcha. I'll try to have a little bit more. Hopefully that helps. So yeah, I have the game pretty low normally. Show me the Blorbos? Okay. Oh yeah, let me go to the gaming screen. There we go. You can see my little Blake cursor. Yay. So I'm gonna be starting a new game with you guys. And y'all are gonna have to help me choose who to woo because God, I love all three of them. I have all the DLC. I have a problem is what I have. Anyway, let's go ahead and new file. Would you like gameplay explanation sections to appear? I'm gonna say no, because it doesn't really explain anything pertinent to you guys. Basically, it just explains that, hey, we value consent with this game. You're allowed to set the initiative of the characters, how romantic they are, in later parts when they actually get romantic. Explains the different dialogue options that aren't super important. So, no. Here we can make our little character. Behind me is the eye shape and the eye color. So, I'm probably just gonna make Rex. Because that's easy. I need a pale bitch. I'm white as fuck. Alright, what kind of eyes do we want? Probably round. My eyes are big and round. Yeah. I do have little eyelashes. Eye color. We're probably gonna go like a pink or an orange. Or maybe like a purple, actually. No. Pink. We'll go pink. Now let's see if we can find an approximation of this wild-ass hair my model has. Let's see. Again, I have played this game before, so I've made many a character here. No, this one. This one might work. Let's see if we can find a suitable back. Let's see. The little bun is so cute. Oh, that's pretty close. That's pretty close. Yay! Okay. Let me see if I can find better front bangs with it. That's not bad. I gotta get through all the two-tones, wait. There we go. Oh, we got more textured hair. Pretty nice. Okay, we're back to the start. Sorry, I'm trying to do this quick. Let's go with that. Let's get like a beige, I guess. If Rex had normal hair instead of bright ass orange. Oh wait, orange. Orange is here. Never mind. Cool. Face shape round makes sense. And then the hair is bugging me. The hair is bugging me. It's fine. Everything's fine. I need to rush. I know. Let's get my glasses. There we go. Ooh, actually, okay. Something important to note about this game. Right now, we are not making us as an adult. We are making us as a child. So what would Rex look like as a child is a much more important question. Because this game is about growing up with the main love interest, Cove, either as a friend, which, by the way, I love that there are platonic routes. But you're growing up with this kid, Cove. So right now, we are starting at 8 years old. So, I might actually change the hair. Just woke up, also you'd still be adorable, thank you. Oh my god, that's like wild. Okay, that's cute. Okay, I'm gonna say long hair because Rex is trans. And I'm trans. So... We're probably... I guess, should we start with she pronouns then? I don't really want to. But I love this game because it actually, like, recognizes you transitioning. And it acknowledges it in a really sweet way. So I kind of want to do it. Should I do that? It'd be accurate. I was born female, so fuck it, we'll go with that. And what's Rex's given name? What is my given name? I'm going with one of the voiced names, which is a DLC I have. We get to hear them say my name. Oh my god. I don't think Rex is an option though, so for later, so that's fine. Let's go with Ray.
Ray.
Thank you, Cove. And last name? We'll go Starlight because that's what my mascot is called. There we go. Now I'm curious on how Rex would look like as a youngster. Still full of chaos though. Exactly. My ears were even bigger. My ears were the exact same size. But I was smaller, so I had like Dumbo ears. Canon. But alright, okay, wait, do I want glasses yet? Probably not. Let's do no glasses for now. Rosy ass cheeks, that's how I always draw myself. Pants, shirts. We'll go skirts. Damn, Will Smith ears! Yeah, I grew into my ears. Hats, watches, bracelets. Yeah, let's go with all those. I don't have anything like that. Okay! We have Ray Starlight as our starting. Going by she, her pronouns because they're 8. And they don't know better. They don't know better yet. Hi, Zizi. Okay. Done. Here we go. Yay! Oh, my VTuber's a little bit in the way of the text. No. Okay, I'm gonna be a little bit in front of the text, but I'm gonna read it all out, so it's fine. Summer in Sunset Bird was a special time of year. Your usual sleepy town began to bustle. It was a popular tourist destination, with people coming from all over to enjoy the beach, the weather, and the relaxation that came with both. The smell of the ocean, crisp and salty, hung in the air, bringing the 3 whole months of schoolless vacation with it. During the summer, your moms didn't like you to wander too far outside of your neighborhood, so you knew the area pretty well. That included the people. Families came and went from Sunset Bird, but they mostly stayed and did what your mom called putting down roots. They built businesses, they got to know each other, and they definitely said hello to the nice young kids who waved when passing their stores. Going for a walk around town mostly meant that the familiar, friendly residents waved, or asked how your family was, or most often just said hello. Okay, so a lot of the options in this game are less about making people happy and more about what would your actual character do. Like, what would you do in this scenario? So they are colored, but that's basically to get what energy they have, if that makes sense. Like, I think blue is more neutral, yellow is more excited, and green is more optimistic, I think, if I remember correctly. It's very nice. Yeah, there's no, I don't think there's any way to really fuck up your relationships in this game unless you really try to be a dick, which I never do. So, and I'm still not going to, sorry. I love these characters too much. Let's see. What would Little Rex do? You didn't really get why they always had to say hi. They saw you every day, but you nodded back at them anyway. You ended up saying hi to a lot of different people, since most of the tourists that came and went every summer were the same ones. You were too anxious to say hi back to most of the residents that greeted you, but they all knew you well enough to expect that. Probably this. Yeah. Alright. You enjoyed learning all about where they were visiting from and hoped to visit those places one day too. But today, there was a man sitting on the curb outside your house. Oh, wait. There we go. He was sitting with his head in his hands, his whole body slumped over, and you wondered if he was even a real person or a statue that had magically sprung up from the ground overnight. Whoever or whatever he was, you had never seen him before. One thing about knowing everyone in Sunset Bird was that was that people who you didn't recognize really, really stood out. It was rare for tourists to venture into the residential district, as your moms called it. So for you, not knowing who a total stranger was set off a lot of red flags. Your mom's had a talk with you and your big sister Lizzie about this kind of situation before. Let's see. It's always okay to run away if you're feeling uncomfortable. You don't have to be polite. You weren't sure about this man yet. I think I'm pretty interested to know what's going on. But you're pretty interested and want to know more about what's going on. You slowed down, your eyes remained fixed on the man. There was a split second where your eyes met, and you knew he was aware he wasn't alone on the street anymore. Hey! Your eyebrows raised at the shout. Did he want something? Is that why he was here? The man stood up and started making his way towards you. Try and be friendly. Offer a straw smile. Hi! The man gives a grin of his own back. Do you live around here? What's your name? You looked the man up and down, taking in his tan skin and relaxed appearance. At least his clothes were relaxed. The way he was acting wasn't. He had sharks on his shorts and a stingray tattoo, and you wondered if he was obsessed with the ocean or something. While you made your assessment, he looked at you expectantly, waiting for you to answer his question. Yeah, I live here. That's great! He looked happy to hear it, giving you a broad smile. God damn it, Cliff. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a clean $20 bill. It crinkled in his hand as he held it up to you. Even more confused than before, you looked back at him. Well, could you do me a favor? Nothing bad. Sorry, let me start over. You're so bad at this, dude. Oh my god. He cleared his throat and stood up straighter. From where you were standing, it just made him look creepier. I have a son. His name is Cove, who's about your age. This guy was definitely obsessed with the water. He wasn't the only one like that in Sunset Bird. We moved in across the street, see? He gestured toward the house that had been empty for a year, his watch catching the late afternoon sunlight and reflecting off the walls. The gigantic for sale sign was finally gone. This guy is sketchy. Yeah, he seems sketchy at first. I swear he isn't. He's just really dumb. He's just so dumb. You must be Ray Starlight, right? I met your moms earlier and they told me you were 8, just like him, so... He shook the $20 bill to bring it back to your attention, a hopeful smile tilting at the lips of his... tilting his lips to the corners. Can you try to be friends with the boy? Just give it a chance and you can keep this. He's a good kid, you'll like him.
Do you mind?
But you gotta keep it a secret too, okay? It wouldn't be friendly to say his dad sent you. Yeah, I kind of feel bad for Cove. Like, god damn it, dude, you don't do this. This definitely wasn't the normal way kids made friends, you knew that. What do you say, wanna make a deal? Nah, I'm good. No thank you. No thank you, sorry. He deflated enough to notice, but not completely.
Are you sure?
Are you sure? It won't be so bad. Even if it's just for the summer, that'd be enough. That only made this sound more strange to you. Why does it lasting for the summer matter? When it was clear his initial strategy wasn't going to fly, he tucked the bill into the back pocket and changed the request. I get it, you don't have to. Would you be more comfortable with he and I coming by for a normal visit? No money involved. You'd have to ask my moms. Let's bring our moms into this. His smile got bigger again, his eyes crinkled at the sides. Of course, they invited us over earlier, but I'd like to ask you too. Then I guess you can. I'll bring him by tomorrow. I wanted him to meet and greet with the neighbors today, but... well, I don't know where he's gotten off to. He laughed when he said that, but with the way his face looked, he thought he was actually wanted to cry. If you see him, can you tell him to come on home? He's got a pink cast and glasses, you can't miss it. I can try. You nodded, not totally certain that you'd find Cove, but willing to look. The man smiled and reached out to pat you on the head, paused before doing so, then pulled his hand away instead. Your moms are already checking around for me, such a thoughtful group you are. Now I better go look too, can't put everybody else to work while I keep sitting here. I thought you might come back, and that's not what's important. I have to go. Thanks again, Ray, so much. He jogged down the street without another word. You decided to check the hills behind your house. Alright. Step 1, first sight. Let's go! The chirping of crickets in the tall grass greeted you, quiet and familiar. From the top of the hill, you could see the ocean. As you walked, you listened to the crash of the waves on the shore and the seagulls squawking as they settled down for the night. Oh, okay. One second. Oh, okay. Cool. You've always loved the ocean. It was so much fun. You loved to hear stories about the sea, about the merfolk and sea serpents you met living far beneath the waves. You didn't enjoy the beach all that much, especially the sand, which got absolutely everywhere. I'm gonna go with the middle one. Yeah, we love fantasy here. Sometimes you could almost convince yourself you had seen the flash of a shiny mermaid's tail in the distance. You took in a breath and wanted to try to relax, and couldn't. You weren't sure what, but something told you that you weren't alone, so you glanced around. There was a boy sitting at the top of one hill, almost completely hidden within the long grass and white flowers surrounding him. His head was buried in his knees, staring ahead by himself. For whatever reason, probably just that he wasn't paying attention, he hadn't noticed you yet. You watched him a minute longer, feeling a little bit like you'd found a deer in the wild. The deer didn't have... green hair, for one. But this new boy did. You watched as it fluttered softly around his face in that breeze. After a few more seconds, you took a step forward, then another. And then he glanced your way. His aquamarine eyes reflected the light of the moon. You stopped, raising a hand to acknowledge him and show you weren't scary. Hey, Space Cadet, I have to, I'm the sun. Hey, Space Cadet. At the start, he jumped to his feet, his hands balling into a fist at his sides. He didn't say anything, just stared at you in a strange way. He'd been crying. There were traces of tears on his cheeks and his knees, soaking the hem of his shorts, and his eyes were still shining with a few more. You'd obviously caught him off guard. His pink cast seemed to glow in the twilight, though when he caught you staring at it, he hid his arm behind his back. Something the man earlier had said stuck out to you. Cove? Eyes wide, he studied you. How'd you know that? Yeah, he's baby. I'm all-knowing! It's a lie. Tell the truth. Okay, your dad told me who you were.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, baby. So, is this your hill? He gestured with his uninjured arm to the patch of grass surrounding you, with his face falling at the prospect. I can leave if it is. Nah, he doesn't seem to like jokes right now. While doing so, you also picked up a strand of lint on your leg. What a weird question to ask someone. Oh. He sat back down with a thump, resting his chin on his knees again. Curious about the strange new boy with the odd dad, you sat on the patch of grass next to him. The pure white flowers that covered this hill rocked back and forth gently as the stars twinkled above. The way they dotted the sky made them seem like flowers, too. The night wind was cool as it traveled over the ocean and up the hill, chasing away the heat from the afternoon sun. Why are you here? A quiet hiccup escaped Cove as soon as you asked the question. Almost like they'd never stopped, his tears started up again with a vengeance. My parents, they don't want to live together with me anymore. The tears fell fast and heavy over his flushed cheeks, sticking in his dark lashes. My mom made my dad leave, and he took me with him, and now we have a house here, and I want to go home. The outburst took you off guard. By the time he was done wailing, Cove's chest was heaving with exhaustion. I know, he's so baby. My poor baby. He sniffled and removed his glasses, wiping at his eyes with the back of his hand before he put them back on again. I hate this place. I want my real life back. I want my mom. Stop crying. No. I'm sorry. He slipped his hand underneath his glasses and pressed his fingers against his eyelids. Cove wound himself up again for another long crying fit. You felt bad for him, being forced to come here with no choice. You couldn't imagine what it would feel like to live with only one of your moms, but it must be pretty hard. But from way off in the distance, you heard your parents. I swear I can read. Ray?
Cove?
Cove! Kids, where did you go? Cove looked at you, tears still clinging to his cheeks. Don't tell them we're here.
I want to go home.
I don't want to go back to that house. I want to go home. You can handle it. You can handle it, and even if you can't, he's your dad, right? Yeah, he is. Dusting the grass off your pants, you stood up. So you didn't come here by yourself, or with a stranger. He's gonna take care of you no matter what. Slowly, Cove stood up with you, still looking a bit reluctant. His dad's voice rang out again. Cove, can you hear me? Give the child a hug, protect him. I want to. I want to so bad. He looked toward the sound of his dad's voice, silent, then turned away while rubbing his not bandaged arm.
Sorry.
Sorry, I still don't want to go. I'm gonna try to convince him. I don't want to call out without him, without making sure he's okay. Are you sure? You'd have to stay outside the whole night and sleep on wet grass. Before Jesus, I can't read. Before Cove could say anything else, you heard his dad's voice again, even closer than before. There you are, bud. The trio of parents appeared over the curve of the hill, and instantly all their eyes landed on you and they rushed over. Look at my moms, they're so pretty. Ah! Gorgeous women, gorgeous women. Both of your moms were at your side in a split second, faces filled with worry. Ray, you're here after all. We had been at the park to check for Cove and then heard what happened earlier when you met the new neighbor. I thought you might have run off further away. Yes, women, right? No, we were just sitting in the grass. We're okay, no, we're okay, don't worry. Thank God you're both fine. Were you two having fun out here? You looked over at Cove, who was wiggling against his dad's tight hug and pushing at his arms. Yeah, I like him. You nodded, smiling slightly. Finally letting go of his squirming, scowling son, Cove's dad turned to the three of you.
That's a relief.
Thank you very much for finding him. I really don't know this neighborhood. Good thing Ray knows this whole area so well. Absolutely, we should be getting home now. It's been a long day for us all. Say goodbye, Cove.
Bye.
Bye. The two of you walked off into the dark. The two of them walked off into the darkness, heading towards the neighborhood. You watched Cove's bright pink cast until it disappeared. Tell you what, we'll have a proper play date tomorrow, okay? Your new friend's dad wanted to bring him by to see you and Lizzie. How does that sound? Sure, can I show him my stuff?
Of course.
Then okay. Both of your moms laughed, the sounds overlapping into a warm, familiar chorus. Mommy put her arm around your shoulder and led you towards the path. Satisfied and more than a little ready to go to bed after your long, exciting day, you followed them home. Alright. It's how you feel towards Cove for this step. I can change later steps. Okay. We could start the crush here if we're going for Cove. Now let me tell you, there are 2 other characters who have not been introduced yet. Names are Derek and Baxter. Wonderful characters. All of these are wonderful characters. I love all of them, so I can't decide. But since a lot of people probably are seeing this game for the first time, I'll probably go with Cove. He's the default, and he's a good default. I love him to pieces. Plus he has a wedding DLC. What? No, anyway. But, we don't have to start the crush here. We could. We could. Let me think. You know what? Fuck it. Relaxed crush. Yeah, double blush. Relaxed crush. Yeah. Not gonna do anything about it, but I like him. Ready. Yes. The next morning, you finished your breakfast so fast that you practically inhaled it. Your sister Lizzie had run out earlier to go play, but you'd stayed put. Today, just like your moms had promised, Cove was coming over to hang out. Excited to see your new friend again, Ray? Yeah, a lot.
How sweet.
Isn't that just the sweetest thing? I bet the 2 of them are gonna be great playmates.
Okay.
With that said, are you done with your breakfast? Yeah. Actually,
Okay.
no. Let's do... I love that you can go back and change your answers if you don't like what you get. Haha, I don't know, am I? You gestured down at the empty dish in front of you, raising your eyebrows dramatically.
Okay.
Okay, we see. Good job, he should be here soon. Cleanup began, and on cue, there was a knock. It was hesitant, like the person wasn't sure they were in the right place. Still loud, though. We need to get a more obvious doorbell. I know. Ray, could you get it? You practically leapt out of your chair on the way to the door. Hey, Starlight family, thanks for having us. Mr. Holden, as your moms have called him, and his son were here. Cove looked different in the bright light of your living room, and when he wasn't crying. With his dad standing in front of him and Mom and Mommy behind you, you and Cove looked at each other. Please see the interesting new boy again. You smiled at Cove. Cove returned it shyly. Yay, he smiled. Okay, we won. Game done. We win. What kind of bracelet do I want to be wearing? Shell, flower bead, crystal, threaded. Let's do crystal. Let's go play in my room.
Okay. Take care.
Let us know if you need anything, you 2. Have fun, kids.
See you.
See you later, son. Play nice. You led him into your room, puffing out your chest a little bit at the sight of your treasures. There were lots of stuffed animals, a cool bed, a window to look out. It was a great room. You hadn't had anyone to show it to in a while, but you were really proud of it. He leaned in a little closer to one of your drawings on the wall. I like this. I drew that. Just saying. Cool. Sorry, I had a burp and I'm trying to fight it. So I don't want to burp into the mic. Also, it's on my screen, so I'm eating that slowly and trying not to let it melt. You smiled at him. You were proud of that particular piece of art, and you were glad he noticed it. You turned around and looked around the room a little more, studying the books on your desk and the pictures on the walls. I hope he likes my room. I hope he likes my room. You put a lot of effort into making your room as nice as it was. You hope he didn't say anything bad about it. Then his eyes landed on the tiny box of beach things you collected, tucked away by the door. He took a step towards it before hesitating and pointing at it instead. What's that? A hoard of stuff I found on the beach.
Oh.
Do you have any driftwood in there? Dragging the box into the middle of the room, you and Cove flopped down next to it. I think so. Yeah, see? You gestured to a piece at the bottom, still covered with specks of sand. Neat. This is a good collection. You get the sense from the tone of his voice that he wasn't saying it to be nice or to be like Shiloh. He actually meant it. Or Shiloh. I don't know how to say his name. Oh right, I almost forgot. Shiloh's gonna be here today. Shiloh? Lizzie's friend. Or like, her #1 fan, I guess? Do I have to see him? It should be okay. I mean, he's Lizzie's friend, not mine, but you know. Come on, check out my shells somewhere. I found this one under a big piece of seaweed that had washed ashore, and... You pulled out seashell after seashell, explaining where you'd gotten each one and holding them up against the light. There were big ones, small ones, pink, purple, and orange. One of them you washed off in the bathroom sink when you brought them home. Most of them you washed in the bathroom sink when you brought them home, cleaning off the sand. Shiloh. Okay. That makes more sense. The collection was so huge and varied that you had lots of funny stories to tell for all. Yeah, let's do that. Sorry. I've been forgetting to breathe a little bit. Apparently fascinated either by the stories or by the shells themselves, Cove listened with what looked like the full force of its attention. Like when you almost got pinched by a hermit crab while searching for shells, and after watching him scuttle back into the ocean, you found another empty shell that was almost a twin to his home. It was a new experience with the center of such dedicated focus. For some reason, it would make your cheeks feel warm. You had never felt like this around someone before. It was kind of weird. Oh, young love. We're young crushes. Kids, come down to the living room. You can tell the idea was making him unhappy, but Mommy wasn't giving you much of a chance to hang around. Cove hadn't been like this meeting you. You guess it's because he thinks you found each other by accident, not that a parent made it happen. Mr. Holden must be right about that telling Cove his dad was part of that would be a bad idea. Cove, you got them talking about their special interest. Yeah. Before you knew it, you'd been escorted downstairs, deposited in the living room, ready for Shiloh's visit. Sorry, I'm eating my ice cream a little bit more. Num 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 num. Okay. Oh, sorry. The two of you sat side by side on the floor of your home's entryway. I brought the box of shells. I want to keep looking at them. Hell yeah. Bust it open. We can keep looking while we wait for Shiloh, sorry. Cove reached in and pulled out a big orange shell. Whoa. Ice cream. Ice cream. Like he hadn't spoken aloud yet, he turned to you and held it up, his eyes shining. What kind? It's, vanilla with, like, strawberry flavoring. So not strawberry ice cream, but like a strawberry sundae kind of thing. I think this one is the best of them. Knowing my ass, I'd probably give it to him. Yum? Hell yeah. You can have it. Cove looked at you in surprise, his eyes going wide. Really? Sure, you like it a lot, right? Uh-huh, but I don't want to take it from you, it's okay. I have Oreo ice cream waiting for me at home? Hell yeah. I'm very looking forward to that. You got the impression he was hesitant to accept something because he didn't know you very well. Okay, I'm not gonna insist. Okay. You didn't want to pressure Cove too much. It was supposed to make him happy, not nervous. Plus, Cove was your neighbor now. Maybe you could give it to him another time. The two of you were still sitting on the floor looking through your collection of beach findings when the doorbell finally rang. Cove jumped, startled by the sound. Since the person hadn't knocked, he figured it was probably Shiloh. He knew where to look for that. Lizzie's friend? You nodded, but that didn't seem to make Cove feel better. It was already obvious that Cove didn't hide his feelings well. You could tell what he was thinking right away. This isn't a good idea. You'll be alright, he's here. We can't tell him to leave. Ah, sorry. Ignore my saves. No. He's at our only door, and if you go upstairs, he'll find you. Cove glanced around the room, his eyes wide, and finally paused with his gaze locked onto the back of the house. I can go out the window. He was already walking towards it. Oh god. Scrambling to think of something to say, you stepped forward, then paused. Somebody said, shh. Don't expose me. Don't expose me. I don't know why I'm doing that voice. It feels mean to leave Shiloh without anyone, so... Shiloh is the least scary person alive, that is true. Every single bunny rabbit is scarier than Shiloh. I don't want to see him, I don't know him. Comfort him. It's okay if you're worried, nobody warned you this was gonna happen. Thanks. Shiloh poked his head into the living room. It was impossible to know for sure if he'd heard what you'd been saying or not, but you guessed that he had.
Hi!
Look at little Shiloh, he's so cute! Hi, Ray! And hi, Cove? Cove shot you an uneasy glance.
Hi.
Hi. I'm Shiloh. It's nice to meet you. Yeah. You have a lot of freckles. Me too. Right, I do. What are you guys doing? Looking at shells.
Can I do it too?
Awesome, can I do it too? Cove shrugged and looked back at your box of beach findings. What about that one? The plan for the afternoon, at least as far as you were concerned, was to sit and look at the beach things some more. You weren't really in the mood to do anything else, especially if Cove was having fun. Hey, check out this scallop shell I found. Cool, right? It's a pretty color, kind of like my cast. The beautiful glittering pink did look a little bit like the wrap around his arm. Pink is a nice color. Okay.
Oh?
Is it your favorite? Not really. What is? Maybe green? Or blue? It might be yellow. Oh, those are all cool.
I guess.
Yes. I like those colors too. They're pretty nice. Top 5.
Awesome.
Awesome. Both of them smiled. Like usual, it didn't take long for Shiloh to get fidgety. Lizzie was his favorite. Without her around, Shiloh didn't seem to know what to do with himself. And Cove wasn't like your sister. He wasn't much like you either. Is Lizzie coming back? Don't know. Aww. Where'd she go? I think she's at the beach, probably. Is she playing at her park? Cove's eyes lit up at the mention of the park, and he looked towards you. There's a park? Yep, but it's old. Can you show me? I want to go. He started getting up before you had even answered, and Shiloh jumped up beside him in excitement. Really? You do too, right, Ray? The park is fun. Park's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right at the beach. There's lots of fun stuff to do and lots of sand. It has a jungle gym and a bunch of swings. That sounds like it could be cool. Goodness. Sorry, Steam notifications. So, are we going to go find Lizzie? I don't know. I never really wanted to see her. I just want to check the park out. Adrift without any direction, Shiloh finally turned to you. Okay. He perked up. Both boys wanted to go. It was only fair. After getting permission from your moms, the three of you were ready to head out. It was a short walk to the park. Lizzie had convinced your moms that it was so short she could always be allowed to handle walking there by herself. I had a whole word there. Sorry, I'm really bad at reading things out loud. I don't do it very often. Ice cream. Yum yum yum. When you found her, she was hanging on the jungle gym, swinging back and forth. Hey, Lizzie! Her face lit up when she saw you, her big brown eyes going wide. Ray! Shiloh! Hi! She dropped to the ground and landed with a soft thud in the sand. In a split second, Shiloh had abandoned you two and scrambled over to stand by her. You were used to being left out when it was just the three of you, but now Cove was here. It was nice to have someone who stuck with you. Who's that? It's Cove. He's new.
Hi.
I remember. Hi, Cove. Welcome to my park. Nobody ever comes to play here, so this is where we get together. Sorry. My mouse does that sometimes, where it, like, skips. She gestured widely with her arms as to present the area to the newcomer. While Lizzie continued talking, you took the chance to kick off your shoes and wiggle your toes through the warm sand. Nice, huh? In this neighborhood, I'm the one who comes up with the ideas. You are?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I am. Who else could handle the job? Lizzie is the oldest. By a lot. My mom said you're Ray's age.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thought so. I'm still the only one in the group with double digits. What about other kids? Other kids? There aren't any. We're the only kids here, and Shiloh is just visiting from another place. Not even tourists really bring their kids here. This is the land of ancients. Be careful that the oldies will try to steal your youth.
Oh.
Oh. For a second, it looked like he might cry again. Something in his eyes shifted and he looked back at Lizzie. What kind of old people? Like moms and dads or grandparents? Oh, grandparents who don't have kids. They hate kids. Why? We haven't done anything. Stop saying stuff like that. You're gonna upset him. You interjected quickly, hoping Cove wouldn't start crying again. He sniffled, his forehead creasing with worry. Lizzie was staring Cove down, but Cove wasn't even looking at her anymore. He didn't seem to care that she was there. He went into his own head. Shiloh was the next one to speak, completely unaware of the situation. Burps. I met Lizzie and Ray in school. You'll see tons of kids there once summer is over. I don't want to go to a new school. I don't want summer to end. Sheila looked down to the dirt. He hasn't had much luck striking up conversations with Cove. I need to read slower. I like summer vacation a lot too. All this building tension in the air suddenly vanished when Lizzie laughed. At Sheila's discomfort at how weird she thought Cove was at something else entirely you didn't really know, but she laughed, face scrunched up.
Okay.
Welcome to Sunset Bird Cove. Take a seat, put up your feet, and get used to it. You'd offer him a small smile, and that at least looked to reassure him some. Alright, that's the first part, kind of. For the rest of the summer, Cove was always there. You saw him more often than you saw him more often than Shiloh, and on some days when she was in a bad mood or busy, you saw him even more than Lizzie. He became a staple of your everyday life, the way the sun and lunch and the beach were. Looking back on it years later, you would realize that you had a tiny crush on him right away. One that made you want to spend as much time with him as you did. Of course, that was only the start of things. Alright. So, this game mostly comes in little episodes that you use to spend time with the characters. And because I have the DLC, we have a lot of options. We have shopping, grown up, long day, sandcastle, fireflies, library, ghost, barbecue, runaway, sleepover. Now, I could run through all of them. I could do that. That would take a while. We would not get out of step 1 this stream, which is fine. We don't have to. But I want you guys to have some input. So, anyone who wants to chat, please let me know which one you want to see. If you need me to move out of the way for the one behind my head, let me know. But that one's library. Firefly or ghost? Okay. Zobo, do you have any input? If you're still here? Or anyone else? The first stream to be 12 hours long? No. Ghost? Okay. We'll go with Ghost first, and we'll probably do Firefly. So let's see. Ghost. The night was incredibly still. You really couldn't ignore how silent it was. It was almost eerie. You could hear Lizzie snoring in the next room over. It was hard to believe how much of a blur today was. Summer sure did slip right past you. You flicker through the moments like pages in a scrapbook as you laid in bed. The ones that stuck out all seemed to include your new neighbor, Cove. It was funny how he had become such a big part of your life in such a short span of time. You thought a lot about what adventures you could have tomorrow until sleep started to catch up to you. Then, you heard something scrape against the window. It wasn't that uncommon for the wind to push a tree branch against the glass. Summer breezes were the worst sometimes. But the more you tried to ignore it, the louder it seemed to become. It seemed like it became, sorry. It was like something was trying to get your attention. You lifted your head off the pillow to get a better look. Nothing was there. Nothing you could see, at least. Let's investigate. It's too creepy to ignore. Stop looking at my saves! You practically jumped out of bed and crept down the stairs to go outside. Your moms were still awake. They stayed up so late, it seemed. Luckily, they were watching TV and didn't hear the soft click of the front door opening as you slipped past. You looked around the neighborhood for a few seconds, checking over each individual house. It looked normal, but it didn't feel that way. You knew you weren't supposed to be out here right now. It's scary. It's scary. You didn't know I'd come over you. If something bad happened, no one would know where you had gone, and the thought of that made your stomach tighten in fear. The ease with which you had slipped out only served to make you feel worse. Your moms didn't need to be vigilant because they had trusted you not to do exactly what you were doing.
Ray.
Yo, what's up, boy? What's up, little man? You twitched at the sudden call, immediately calming down upon seeing Cove walking up to you. It was strange, yet also completely normal to have him appear like this right now. What are you doing? I saw you standing around in the middle of the street from my window. You weren't sleeping either? Why not? Cove turned his lips to smile. Turned up his lips to smile, almost as if he were amused by the question. Because... you hear a weird noise? You can tell you hit the nail on the head by the way his eyes widened. Yeah, you knew? I heard it too. That's why you came out, huh? Cove hesitated for a moment, looking down the street before his aquamarine eyes fell on you again. Did it scare you? A little. Me too. I feel better that you're here. Me too. The two of you delicately smiled at that. Cove even chuckled a bit. It was nice that you both felt the same way about things. I was kind of wondering if it was the wind, but what if it's not? What if it's a person? What if it's something that's not a person? The unsettling noise suddenly rushed through the air. Cove and you flinched. Sounds even worse than before. You were about to agree with him when the noise came yet again, tearing through the still night. The two of you rapidly looked around, trying to find the source, but to no avail. There was no sign of an answer to this puzzle. You thought that... I mean, it is called Ghost. It had to be a ghost. Invisible, creepy thing luring children from their beds, it had to be a monster. You were torn between the curiosity of discovering what the noise really... What the noise really was, and being scared enough to want to run straight home and hide under the bed covers. When you and Cove locked eyes, it was like speaking without words. Your mutual anxiety hadn't gone away entirely. Burps. Hey, can you tell where it's coming from?
Not really.
Okay. Then we'll have to look more somewhere else. Maybe we'll see something. Okay, let's go. You clustered together as you walked the familiar streets of your neighborhoods, drawing strength from each other's presence. Shadows cut corners and angles where you didn't expect them, distorting the features you saw every day. The noise came again, shrill and hard. It set your teeth on edge the way it ground its way into you. Ground its way through you. I can't read! Cove's throat bobbed, his eyes glistening in the dim light. I'm gonna offer him my hand. I'm scared. You really wanted to be there for him and wanted to show that. Your hand was left for him to take. Cove's mouth opened wordlessly. There was a pause, but ultimately he accepted the offer. His hand was really sweaty, but it didn't bother you. You were scared too, but being able to comfort Cove was the most important thing right now. Cove shut his eyes and pressed his lips together. Your fingers locked around each other even tighter.
So...
Where did you want to check? Let's do the hills behind my house. We both heard it from here. That would make sense. You and Cove ascended the hill, lit only by the stars in the night sky. The wind rippled through the grass and ruffled your hair. Without the sun's light to translate what you were seeing, every bush in the distance looked like a creepy figure or towering monster. The noise was just as loud here as it was in your neighborhood, with just as little indication behind the cause. But you kept going forward. You couldn't stop when you had already gone so far. You had to find out what was going on. The top of the hill was an excellent vantage point to survey the town from. Everything appeared normal, but there was no out of place sight pinpointing the answer to this mystery. Without visible markers to guide your way, you suppose it was up to you and Cove to deduce the source of the sound. The hill had many great hiding places, and you intended to check them all. You upturned rocks, peering up trees, and rummaged in the thick grass for anything that might bring some closure on all this. You struck close to Cove as you hunted for the source of the noise. When the shrieking noise shook the air, seeing him behind you calmed your racing heart. Seeking to ease your nerves and put aside thoughts of what might be out on this dark and spooky night, you decided to strike up a conversation. Hey, you like jazz? Your search for a topic was more fruitful than your search for the noise. Your eyes fell on Cove's cast and you were instantly inspired. Have you broken any other bones?
No.
No. Oh. It's sure that wasn't much of an engaging topic for him after all. I've never broken any bone, actually. Lucky. That put an end to your injury discussion, but Cove's calmer mood alleviated the bleak atmosphere like you hoped it would. Cove cast his eyes out into the darkness, feeling bolder. Does this make you feel strange? We were people who heard noises at night and are out looking for what it is. It's like we're starting with a book or a movie and we're the main characters. Yeah. It's a fantasy story. The world they found outside looked like their own, but it wasn't. They had stepped into another dimension without even knowing.
Really?
Really? Yep, it's a dimension where everyone had been cursed to sleep until the monster making the noise is defeated. How are we gonna defeat the monster? We'll find magic swords that can defeat the dreaded beast with one blow. Okay. They're cute. Well, whatever the noise was, you were confident that you had established that it was not coming from the hill. Once you were satisfied nothing out of the ordinary was found to be found on the hill, you had to consider your next step. Should we keep searching? Probably. No. I mean, all things considered, no. We should go home and not be doing this. But it's a game, and no one's actually gonna get hurt, so... Let's check the park. The private playground was as empty as ever. You could just about hear the mysterious sound if you were quiet, but it simmered down to a whisper. Cole was practically shaking when he realized they had progressed far enough to reach here. He swallowed hard but faced with a determined face. My dad says, good detective work starts at home. He watches a lot of crime shows, so maybe it could be good to look closely. Okay. The two of you swept through every corner of the park. No monkey bar, swing, or tire went unchecked. Huh. He was squatting at the ground, squinting at something in his hand. Intrigued, you checked over his shoulder so you could see it too. Cove held it in his open palm. Coiled inside was a length of sparkly chain, grains of sand embedded in the fine links. Lifting it up, it became apparent how this came to be here. You've seen bracelets and necklaces enough to recognize the clasp which held it together had snapped. It's broken. Silver. Werewolves hate silver. Other things too, I think. If this noise is caused by a monster... We can protect ourselves with it. You're so fucking smart, Cove. Yeah! He flicked the chain as if cracking a tiny whip. I wonder if there's anything else we could use out here. Cove considered this, frowning. I could have grabbed some garlic before I left. His frown evolved into a scowl. It probably wouldn't have worked. Dad doesn't have real garlic. He gets fake garlic? It's like flakes in a jar, not real balls you have to cut up like Mom uses. Oh, his smile. I know, he's so cute. Sorry. I might need to hydrate. Those were not adorable, you're lying to me. I'm just talking too much. There's more than I'm used to. That can't taste as good. Never does. Adults were always saying that fresh tasted better. You figured it was probably true. New is good. It doesn't. You had exhausted all the possible places to search in the park. Straightening up, you mused over your next step. It's gone. What? Then you realized that the noise, which had grown fainter and less frequent during your search, had died off completely. You and Cove shared puzzled looks, but neither of you had an answer for what had caused the mysterious sound or made it go away. A yawn crept up on you. All the excitement made you forget how late it was. Let's go home. We're not gonna find anything now. The night was still as you walked home. With none of the usual background noises or the eerie whistle from before, you could hear every step you and Cove made like a cough in a movie theater. And two of you came to a halt outside your front door. Never before had it looked so ominous. Now to sneak back inside. Do you sneak out a lot? This is the first time. Yeah, I've never tried to do it till now. Thought so. How'd you know? I haven't seen you out of my window this late before. That was fair. Though it could have been possible you were just so good at sneaking that this is the first time he caught you. Are you worried about getting caught?
No.
No. You're so forthright that you believed him completely. But your dad, won't he get mad or sad if he catches you? He's never happy with what I do. Oh. Sympathize. That must be hard. Yeah, he and Mom do what they want, why shouldn't I? Alright, I'm going in.
Bye.
Okay, good night. Good night, Cove. Thanks for coming with me tonight. I'm not sure I could have done it by myself. I wanted to go with you. Hearing that caused your face to heat up. Aww. Turn the doorknob as slowly as a clock's minute hand, holding your breath with the telltale click of the clock, then nudged it open. When all that happened was the door opening rather than the blaring alarms that you'd feared, you melted with relief. Back inside your house, you were surprised to find your mom still watching TV. Weirder still, it looked like they were on the same show as they were watching before you left, yet you were positive you'd been investigating for hours. Perhaps you could use their distraction to your advantage. If you could just get up the stairs, you would be safe from suspicion, but how could you get up there? I probably should not. Okay. I should probably try and sneak past. I definitely should not walk in nonchalantly. That's a bad idea. It's either the first or the last one. Knowing me, like, if this is actually me, I do the last one because I'm a bitch. Sneak? Okay, yeah, we'll sneak. You hug the wall as you creep delicately around the perimeter of the room. It was a valiant effort that any spy would have been proud of, right up until the moment when you tripped over a power cord and nearly fell over. Ray? You might not have fallen, but your accident ruined your cover. You had been spotted. They abandoned the couch in their show to hurry over. They were in a state of surprise. You weren't in trouble yet.
Are you okay?
What are you doing down here, sweetie? Did you have a bad dream? Fuck. Fuck. We've been caught red-handed. What do we do? I don't like lying. I really don't. I've never been a liar. It's never been my thing. But what would an 8-year-old do? They'd probably lie. Let's be honest. They'd probably lie. Fuck it, we'll try lying. You couldn't bring yourself to own what you had done. I heard scary noises, so I came down here. Lie, yeah. Their surprise gave way to concern.
Sweetie.
Honey. Mom took you by the hand, led you up the stairs. Oop, your hand is cold. Why didn't you come over to us? I was supposed to be in bed. Ray, you won't ever be in trouble for coming to us when you're frightened. We'd much rather you came to us and try to solve things all by yourself. Her phrasing made you feel bad. The nervousness ate at you as you were tucked into bed. Your moms assumed that your flushing and insistence on delving under the covers were part of your fear, and spoke to you softly until you calmed down enough to pee about from underneath your sheets. Once your moms had left, you turned over the night's adventure in your mind. It was so hard to believe that you'd really done it. It's harder still to believe that you'd gotten away with it. Even now, you half expected to be caught somehow. Perhaps you'd left the door ajar, or trailed sand where they were already swept. You hoped that Cove had gotten home okay, that we hadn't been worried. Being told off was never fun. Wriggling down deeper underneath the sheets, your thoughts turned to the unsolved mystery. You and Cove had only just begun to scratch the surface of it. Maybe you'd solve it, and maybe you wouldn't, but knowing that you had shared it with him made you feel like you were being tickled from the inside. You hooked a pillow to your chest, tossing and turning as you replayed the night's events in your mind, daydreaming about different ways they could have gone. Any fear or danger that might have been there was entirely overshadowed by thinking about how close you had been with Cove the entire trip. Your daydreams ushered you into sleep with a smile on your face. The next morning proceeded most like usual, though your mom seemed to be giving extra consideration since finding you last night. You learned later that Cove didn't end up in trouble for the nightly escapade either. It was unclear whether that was because his dad chose not to punish him, or if Cove got away with it. It was amazing to you that it all worked out for you both. As for the sounds that started this all, the adults were convinced it was nothing more than the wind. For your imaginative mind, that wasn't nearly enough. How could they accept something so simple, so easy? Maybe it'd make more sense when you were grown up too. Whoop whoop! Yay! Big stretch. Big stretch. Okay. I might take a quick break. My throat hurts. Not used to talking this much. I'm gonna take a quick break, get some more water, and yeah, we'll be right back. Whoop whoop! Break time. Oh, damn it! Didn't mean to do that. There we go. All right. Be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. Do 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 do. Bam. There we go. Alright. Still coughing? A little. But, alright. Okay. Let's do fireflies, as was asked. There we go.
All right.
Alright, tonight we're gonna catch fireflies! At this blunt At this blunt declaration from your sister, you slipped up from your macaroni and cheese dinner. Fireflies were a familiar sight over summer, coming out on warm nights to dance to the sky. Tonight was particularly balmy. You knew there were bound to be a ton of them around. Reading be hard. It does, especially if you've been doing it for like an hour straight. Oh, my throat hurts. Throat hurty. But I gotta get used to it either way. Oh, you are you? Yeah. You rocked lightly from side to side in your seat, already excited for after-dinner activity. Catching fireflies was a great way to spend a summer evening, and you could already envision the little lightning bugs drifting through the darkened sky. That's a good idea, Lizzie. When can we start, Miss Starlight? Shiloh tapped his fork against the table excitedly, his face lighting up as he looked at Lizzie. Ah, my nose. It was unusual for Shiloh to still be here. Like always, his mom had to bring him over really early in the morning before her job started. But normally she would have picked him up by now. She called before dinner to let your mom know she'd be late. You didn't hear why. Probably more work things. You thought maybe getting to hang out with Shiloh for longer is what made Lizzie want to keep running around outside. Staying at home and watching TV was never an option for her with guests over. That's why you were pretty sure she'd get your moms to agree.
Well,
It's already so dark out there. Lizzie gave Mom the best puppy dog eyes she could, slowly spooning mac and cheese into her mouth while you waited there for their response.
There.
Let them go. Nights like this don't happen every day. Your parents exchanged a look, then Mom eventually sighed and nodded back. Yes! Along with Lizzie's cheers, you threw your arms up in triumph and waited until you finished chewing to say anything because you knew it was rude to talk with your mouth full.
Fine.
Fine. Just make sure you stay on the hill behind our house with all the poppies, okay?
Duh.
No, Mom, that's where most of them are. The idea had only just been planted in your head, but already you could picture all the glowing lights spreading out in front of you, like the fairies from the bedtime stories Mommy reads sometimes. All too quickly, it became a race to see who could finish their food first. No choking at the dinner table now. That's right, if someone died, we'd have to call the fire trip out. We'd have to cancel the firefly trip after all. Mom said it as like a joke, but you knew that they were both telling you kids to slow down. Shiloh did immediately. When you glanced at Lizzie, you saw her still eating faster than she should. Elizabeth!
Jeez.
Someone's gonna die! Sheesh! A knock on the door interrupted Mom before she could no doubt scold your sister. I'll get it! Your big sister jumped out of her seat and ran over to the door, pulling it open without even looking out the window to see who it was.
Huh?
Huh? You shifted in your seat to try and get a glimpse of the unexpected guest.
Hi.
Good evening, Cove. Your mommy had already walked to the door by the time you managed to see past Shiloh's flappy hat. Oh, Cove, you're here! Hi! There are a million things you could thought of that you wanted to tell him about Lizzie's home. Fuck. I might have to stop soon. My throat is not happy. Ugh. Not stop streaming, but like stop this game for a bit and not talk talk less. There are a million things you thought of that you wanted to tell him about. Lizzie's homer in the baseball game earlier in the day, your first successful cartwheel, But more importantly, you wanted to ask if he'd come firefly catching with you all. You saw him jerk a smile at you and turn with an eager wave. Then for a few seconds, Cove said nothing. He only stood there and looked up at your mommy with a face almost like he was considering turning around and leaving. And my dad told me to drop this off because I guess he borrowed it from you. Cove took a familiar screwdriver out from out of his large side pocket. Eyes now dropped to the floor. We left ours back home when we moved. Great, thanks, bye!
Thank you.
Thank you. Here, why don't you come inside for a bit? Lizzie crossed her arms and lifted her chin. Cove shrugged, and Mom stood from the table too. I'll give your dad a call to let him know you got here all right. Cove shuffled fully inside, eyes remaining on the ground. Mommy closed the door behind
Hi.
him. Hi, Cove. Shiloh gave Cove a friendly smile while waving by holding up his hand and opening and closing his fingers. Cove nodded in response. Cove, are you gonna catch fireflies with us? You can see Lizzie eyeing you for mentioning the excursion to an outsider, but she'd get over it. You crossed your fingers behind your head and looked at Cove expectantly, hoping he would say yes and you could spend more time with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I've never caught one before. It's too bad he didn't have a chance before now. The fireflies weren't out when he first moved in, and there must not have been anywhere he used to live. We can't go until after dinner. After she pointed this out, Lizzie walked back to the table and took her seat. There wasn't much left on her plate. Since this was very true, you decided to finish up your own stuff as well. Cove stepped over and eyed what was on the menu of for your family's meal. Have you eaten yet? Yeah, my dad and I ate earlier. What did you have? Eggs. The clipped one-word answer seemed to discourage Shiloh from asking any more questions. His eyes slowly wandered back to the last scraps of food on his plate. Her phone call with Cove's dad must have been I can read, I swear. Her phone call with Cove's dad must have ended because your mom came back into the room.
Okay.
Oh, my throat. Ugh. Okay. Cove, your dad said you could stay for a little while if you'd like, but he's going to come get you before it gets too much later. Sure.
Fun.
Oh, fun! This will be so nice! As you polished off the meal, you hoped it would be too. The three of you all finished eating shortly after, and Lizzie led the way outside. Remember, don't stray too far. It's fine, Mom! Shiloh trailed so closely after Lizzie, he was nearly stepping on her heels. Cove hesitated at the door. Coming? After a moment, he did.
Bye.
Bye, children. Two of you were a good 10 or 15 feet behind Lizzie and Shiloh by the time you walked outside. You pushed the door shut behind you and watched their figures get farther and farther away.
Hurry up!
You're so slow, Ray. We don't have all night. You started to run when you heard Lizzie's voice calling you, but paused when you saw Cope still walking at a relaxed pace. I'm gonna walk with him. I don't wanna leave him alone. You followed behind and tossed him a smile. Don't worry, you're gonna love it. Cove glanced at you, giving you a slow nod with a strange look on his face. What is it? Nothing. By the time you two reached the hill, Lizzie had already climbed up to the top. Shiloh was spinning in circles somewhere around the middle. Bright winking lights floated like buoys on a wave. Buoys? Is that? I don't know how to pronounce that. One drifted close enough for you to see the firefly at the center of the glow, and you looked at Cove, excited to see his reaction. He looked just as entranced.
Wow.
Wow. Shiloh took a moment to come over and welcome the both of you to the hill. Hi guys, it's really great out, huh? Let's see how many there are? Yeah. A firefly danced through the air, landing on Cove's sea-green head. Giggle. What? You just to his head and reached up, making the firefly dart away. Cove jumped and followed after the glow.
Oh,
Oh look, Lizzie has one, that's amazing! Shiloh ran to the highest point of the hill, making sure not to lose his hat or backpack along the way. You hummed as the group divided and conquered, shifting your gaze to dozens of fireflies sailing around. The game was on. Oh, do I have bandages? Nah. I was never a very run-around kind of kid. Spotting one close by, you approached it with assassin-like stealth, crouching down to make yourself seem like less of a threat. Slowly dragging one foot in front of the other, you crept up towards it, arms outstretched. You closed your hands around the little glowing orb, careful not to crush it. The firefly landed on your palm almost docile, and you stared down at your prize in delight. Its tiny legs tickled your skin, and you giggled at the sensation. Cove kept up with his own target, but when he tried to grab it, his pink cast waved awkwardly through the air, foiling his efforts to clap his hands around the firefly. Ah. Cove watched it vanish into thin air with a dissatisfied expression on his face. I have a firefly. Want to see the one I got? Cove gave one more look in the direction of his lost prize before coming closer and peering at the insect still crawling across your palm. You held out your hand and you leaned closer, eyes widening a tad behind his glasses. Cove remained hypnotized by the little bug as he inched his hand closer to yours. Ultimately, he settled his fingers lightly over the top of the ones you were holding open. It tingled. Stay still. The last thing you wanted was to accidentally scare the shiny treasure off. Hands. The firefly, noticing the new connection, crawled onto Cove's hand. He quietly gasped. It worked! Yeah, you got one. Cove's lips turned into a slow smile and his eyes shined brighter than the bug. Thanks, Ray. Your eyes and his locked together while still holding hands. He suddenly pulled away. Startled by the extreme movement, the tiny light disappeared before you could even blink. The firefly was gone. Sorry. It's all good. That's okay, I couldn't keep it forever.
You're right.
Right, bugs have to stay outside. Let's get another. Let's go collect. We can work together. His face broke out into a wide grin. We'll get a bunch. Look how cute he is. Oh my goodness, little baby. With renewed vigor, you ran out into the hill. You're not sure how much time passed while you were in the thick of it. All you could focus on was the adventure at hand. No critter was safe from your grasp. At first, you tried to keep a tally of how many you had caught, but once the number grew higher than 10, you had no more fingers left to count with. You were having the time of your life, racing up and down the hill with the crash of the ocean and the sound of everyone's laughter echoing in the background. Ray, this way. Sorry. Ray, this way. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that so normally. You followed the sound of Cove's voice to the top of the hill, watching as he stretched his arms in front of him, reaching with his fingers, only narrowly missing the target. Cove and you took turns trying to scare fireflies in the direction of the other. You showed him some techniques that you had learned, like how to cup your hands correctly, and he listened attentively before trying for himself. There were a few times when you almost ran into each other, giggling as you dove to the side at the last moment. Luckily, disaster was avoided each time. It was an overall huge success, with the both of you catching multiple fireflies each. Water. I got this. Eventually the fireflies began to thin out and your energy started to lapse. You decided it was time to call off the hunt. Cove didn't complain. He breathed in heavily and his face seemed really flushed. That was fun. A lot of fun. He smiled at him broadly, happy that he had enjoyed the activity. Yeah, it was.
Come on!
Ray, Cove, get up here, we're gonna have a race. The shouting caught you off guard and it had been quite a while since you heard from Lizzie or Shiloh. You glanced over to see them both standing on top of the hill again, Lizzie beckoning to you with quick hand gestures. If she was like that, you knew there wasn't much room for disagreement. Up the incline you went, from the corner of your eye you saw Cove was coming as well. He didn't care for Lizzie a lot, so you thought he might be intrigued just by the idea of a race. Hi.
Cove.
Hi. Cove, you can't roll down the hill, you could hurt your arm again. You'll be the referee for the rest of us. As Lizzie pointed this out, Cove froze in place. Oh, it was that kind of race. He frowned down at his cast. That was the second time it got in the way tonight. What? Yeah, you'll watch to see who gets to the bottom first. That's important. Got it? I guess. The cast was sturdy. If he was careful, he could have done it. Lizzie might have just been looking for a reason to make someone else the referee, but it was already decided. No, let's race. Satisfied with this, Lizzie moved to lay down, and Shiloh did the same. Cove stood slightly to the side to get a better vantage point. It seemed like he was taking his newfound referee duties seriously. Countdown! You quickly got into position as well, resting on your side in the grass and tucked your arms close to your chest. 3, 2, 1, go! The three of you... Oh, Lizzie is a meanie. Yeah, she's a bit of a meanie. She gets better throughout the parts, but she's a bit of a meanie for a bit. The three of you took off, letting gravity do the work and rolling at high speed towards the bottom. You squeezed your eyes shut, a delighted laugh leaving you, and subsequently allowing a few blades of grass to run into your mouth. Ew. You sputtered, reaching up to wipe them away. It flew off your balance and sent you careening sideways. Ugh! Ah! Everyone started too close together because the slight turn made you, then Shiloh, and then Lizzie collide into a heap. You tumbled down the last few feet in a pile. Shiloh's elbow was in your stomach, and you were pretty sure Lizzie's hair was in your mouth, but you had survived. Perhaps it wouldn't have been safe for Cove after all. You could hear him laughing in the distance. When you opened your eyes, you saw the starry sky above, and Cove still on top of the hill, staring down at the three of you with an amused look on his face. Hey, cool crash. I think Ray was the first one at the bottom. Fuck yeah! That didn't count. We need a redo. Kids, it's time to come in. No! You sighed. Ugh. You sighed, not knowing if it was from contentment or exasperation, and closed your eyes again. It had gotten late, and just beginning to feel just a bit chilly as you made your way out of the hills. But the cold in the air hadn't dampened anyone's spirits. The four of you walked back home together side by side down your neighborhood street, discussing the evening with each person trying to prove that they were the one who caught the most fireflies. You knew that whoever really did catch the most didn't matter much anyway. All that mattered was that you had a good time, which judging by the smiles in everyone's faces, you did. Yay! That one's cute. I like that one. Let's see, what else do we want to do? I always do shopping for a specific reason, so let's, That was sweet. I know, right? This game is adorable and sweet and wholesome. We can all, by the way, we don't have to do them all. We don't have to do them all. We can literally end summer right here if we wanted. But it's up to, it's completely, so, bleh. Ugh, I keep burping. More reading! There's gonna be more reading either way. This doesn't end the game, this just ends the first step, which is when you're 8 years old. The next step, you're teenagers. Well, more like preteens. But, so let's see, let's do shopping, because that one has something I want. Come back before it gets dark, alright, sport? A familiar voice drifted across the street and drew your attention away from the snail you'd been watching inch slowly across the pavement. Cove waited in front of his dad, pushing his green hair back off his face from where the breeze was blowing it over his glasses. He looked to be paying only a mild amount of attention as he was being handed a few slips of green paper. It reminded you of when you'd first met Mr. Holden, although he's probably not paying Cove to be friends with himself. Cove's dad seemed to feel your gaze somehow, or maybe you made a noise, because a second later, his eyes were on you. He waved you over with a smile. He looked happy to see you, but you still felt a little weird for getting caught. You've gotta learn how to be more sneaky. You brushed your hands together to free them of sand, then jogged over to join the two, smiling at Cove first, then his dad. In turn, Cove shuffled his feet in place as you got closer.
Ray.
Hi. How's it going?
Good to see you again. What excitement are you up to, Ray? Are you up to today, Ray? Taking a walk. I found a pretty cool snail across the road. There's lots of snails around here. Mr. Holden grinned at you kindly. Ugh, I keep burping. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Let me drink some water. Okay. No, I just want to hear you read more. Fair enough. After you finished answering the question, Mr. Holden's attention returned to Cove, who was preoccupied with folding the bill he had into a tiny rectangle. Sounds fun. You know, Cove was about to hit the stores by the beach. Why don't you go with him?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can come. You immediately grinned at the idea. You hadn't been sure if you'd see Cove today, and now he was inviting you somewhere. This day couldn't get much better. Poor burping is good too. Shush. Great, I'm sure you guys will have loads of fun. Mr. Holden reached into his pockets and pulled out a leather wallet filled with money. You found it odd, since your moms only ever seemed to have cards in theirs. Here. He leaned in to pass a crisp 10 to Cove, giving him a wink and a whisper. Get something for your friend, too. Sure.
Good kid.
That's my boy. Cove's dad ruffled his son's hair as he was straightening back up, the bill in his hand still held out towards the green-haired boy. Take care. Cove accepted the bill after a second and slipped it into his pocket. Then, with one last nod to his dad, he turned and started walking. He followed after him, intrigued at the possibilities this outing might bring. Stop burping! Oh my god. But yeah, this game... Fine. I swear I'm not normally this bad at things and stuff. Cove strayed towards the gentle tide creeping up the sand, and you fell into place beside him. It was a nice day. The sun was shining, and there weren't many clouds in the sky, though the wind coming off the ocean kept it from being too hot. Took in a breath, enjoying the scent of salt and ocean air. When you looked at Cove, he was dragging his feet through the sand a little, and you know and you slowed down to wait for him. Oh my god. Coughing, burping, man, this stream has it all. Shut up. Shut up. You know what? I have an idea. Okay, I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. Either we can continue this, or I could draw how little Rex looks, aka Ray. Because I'll be honest, my throat's not doing great. But I'm down to keep going if you are. Draw? Okay. Okay. Let's do it. So we're gonna save. Ignore. Thank you. Save your voice. Thank you. Finish this, then draw. I don't know if we have time. Well, actually, no. My other thing got canceled. So yeah, we'll finish this, then we can draw. I don't have a time limit today. But normally on Saturdays I can only go 2 hours. But I don't have to do that today. So many saves. Oh, you can save. Yeah, I did. Don't worry, I saved. When you look at Cove, he was dragging his feet to the sand a little, and you slowed down to wait for him. His eyes searched the ground intently. Are you looking for shells? Cove started a little at the sound of your voice and mumbled a sort of. If you see any, you can let me know. You could manage that. You dropped your feet to the sand, walking carefully so you didn't step on any. You were good at finding shells. You had a lot of them at home, and always found new ones whenever you visited the beach. The comforting sound of the waves filled the silence with pleasant white noise, and you played a little game with yourself as you walked along, getting as close to the water as possible without getting wet. Sorry. It resulted in you having to run up the sand quickly when a wave rushed in more than a few times, and although Cove threw a few glances your way, he didn't say a word. What do you want to go to the shops for? I need a new sand pail. Yeah, what happened to your old one? Cove narrowed his eyes, seeming to think deeply for a second.
Well...
It disappeared. What, really? Cove ducked his head down, lacing his fingers behind his back. It didn't seem like he was going to continue, so he nudged his arm. How did that happen? Well... Cove opened his mouth and shut it again, considering. I took it to the beach one day. Uh-huh. When I got home, it wasn't anywhere. You left it there? Nope, it wasn't at the beach when I went back. Then you lost it! It disappeared.
So...
I love him. What about you? What do you do out here? I like swimming. Cove's lips curled up into a small smile. Me too. It occurred to you that you hadn't been swimming in a while. There was just so much to do before school started up again in so little time. Once you reached the shopping area, the noise level grew exponentially. No longer just waves and footsteps, but the chatter of people enjoying the lovely summer day. The call of birds trying to find bits of food left behind, and lots of salespeople trying to get attention. You sniffed the air as you walked beside Cove. You could smell the ocean, but there were a lot of other scents too now. Pizza, pretzels, hot donuts. It was alright. Sounds a little overstimulating. There's a lot going on, but it beat staying at home and doing nothing all day. You were sure that you and Cove could find something to fill the day if you looked around a bit. Cove was glancing from one side of the street to the other with a look in his aquamarine eyes that you couldn't quite work out. What's that? Cove pointed to a large crowd of people gathering near a few tables with large, colorful umbrellas blooming from their middles. couldn't see past the adults who were blocking the way, but you knew there must be something worth seeing. Without another word, the two of you hurried over to see what all the commotion was about. Feast your eyes on the amazing Alexander! In the center of the crowd was a man with a tall hat and a funny green coat that had three long tails. There was a little table next to him with a cloth hanging over it that read The Amazing Alexander in glittery golden script. Why tell people of his name if it's already on a sign? Okay. Cove hummed with understanding, then turned to walk away just as the amazing Alexander began shuffling a deck of cards. Maybe we could stay and watch? Cove glanced back at the man. He then briefly lifted his arm up off his sides before returning them in place. You grinned, waving for him to follow you as you raced to stand in the crowd. With that, it began. The magic man pulled one card of the deck, showing it to the curious onlookers. It was a 4 of diamonds. Watch closely. You did, squeezing through a few of the adult onlookers to get a better view. Suddenly the man snapped his fingers and the card just disappeared. Whoa! He is not amused. He is not amused at all. The amazing Alexander, who had earned his title, turned his head and looked directly at you. He reached out with a kind smile. What's this behind your ear? Nothing? It was true, you didn't keep anything there. He smelled like popcorn and candy when he stepped closer, and you wrinkled your nose in confusion as you watched him. You felt a tug, and then he pulled the 4 of diamonds out from behind your ear. What? You knew that it couldn't really have come from your ear, but you still didn't know how he'd done it. There was light applause from the crowd, and the man gave a deep bow. This is for you. The magician plucked a pair of balloons from a clump of them tied down to his table, both from the shape of a dolphin instead of being a normal circle. And one for your friend, too. Thank you for being my assistant. Wow! Now you're really grateful he chose you. After that, he went to someone else in the crowd. Pick a card, any card. My uncle does that every time he visits. Not the balloons, the stuff with cards. Cove spoke plainly while reaching over to take the balloon that had been designated for him. You wondered if Cove's whole family was magic. Are you magic, Cove? If so, he was lucky. Yeah, okay. The crowd started to clear some, and you noticed on the side there was a whole rack of brightly colored kaleidoscopes on display. Kaleidoscopes are cool. Ooh, these are cool. You shifted your balloon string to your other hand as you could bring the mysterious tunnel to your eye. A whole palette of colors appeared right in front of you, spinning into all kinds of different shapes as you twisted the end of the tube. Cove picked one up and looked through it, twisting the tube at the end. After a second, he set it back on the rack, moving to the other side of the stall. He went under the awning, careful of his own floating dolphin, and you joined him. Are you having fun? Yeah, that's good. You returned to smile, happy to hear it. When Cove moved towards some stalls nearby, you followed beside him. While Cove looked at sand pails, you were drawn to a table with colorful keychains laid out on it. They were sewn in the shape of sea creatures, and there was a plaque that read handmade standing proudly in front. There were lots of different types. You saw a dolphin, a shark, a crab, a turtle. Oh, which one do I want? I used to be a huge fan of dolphins when I was little, but dolphins are assholes. Toidle. Crab? Actually, yeah, crab fits better, doesn't it? Yeah, crab. Your hand stuffed at the crab, claws raised, and a tiny smile on its face. It had big eyes and little legs, and the fabric was smooth when you picked it up. You had seen a few crabs at the beach before, though they usually scuttled away before you got the chance to look at them closely. You liked the idea of having a crab all of your own, even if it was just a soft animal. You were instantly enamored. Checking the price though, your heart fell. $6. What'd the dolphin do to you? Dolphins are assholes, man! Do you not know that? They're such dicks. They're like the assholes of the ocean. Look it up. They're horrible. You didn't know much about money, but you thought that was a lot to spend on one thing. You really had more than the $5 bill to your name. My friends? What do you mean you're friends? Dolphins are horrible. Is that what you want? Huh? Oh, it's $6. I didn't bring any money.
Alright.
It's fine. Are you sure? Cove took the keychain from your hands, and that was that. He was holding a small yellow bucket for himself, too. It's cool. You should get it. You smiled, pleased to have things work out. It was nice of Cove's dad to let Cove buy something for you two. You had to remember to thank him next time you saw him. After Cove paid, the two of you stepped out to the shore. $6 whole. I know. I know. For like little kid money, that's $1 million. Little kid money is very funny to think about. After Cove paid, the two of you stepped out of the store side by side. Your balloon dolphins knocking together and spiraling around in the air. You watched Cove hold up his new pail to his face, examining it thoroughly. Hey Cove, yeah? We need to think about this. We need to think about this. We could tell him. We could tell him right now about his dad offering us money. And I'm debating if we should do it. Because he deserves to know, you know? He deserves to know. The only thing that would worry me is ruining his day, but... I also could see a little kid bringing this up because he gave money to someone again. So, you know what? Fuck it. Your dad gives out a lot of money, huh? From what you've seen, that happens a lot with Mr. Holden. You never met anyone else who shares dollar bills with people all the time. Cove's brow furrowed in confusion.
Maybe.
I don't know, maybe? For a second, you thought about mentioning the way you and his father had met, but decided against it. That was meant to be a secret. You felt like your feelings might have been hurt if your parents were offering to pay people to be your friend. Oh, okay. I guess we don't tell him now. I know you tell him at some point. You can, at least. You can keep it a secret, but I don't usually do that. Cove looked further down the street where different food carts were lined up. He rested his non-cast arm over his stomach, just as he did, yours let out a light growl. You hadn't eaten since breakfast, and after all this wandering around, you were definitely ready for some lunch. Let's get some food. Yeah. You two wandered around a short while, looking at all the delicacies that were available. Everything looked delicious, and as the different smells, both sweet and salty, wafted over to you, your stomach growled even louder. After passing up hot dogs, snow cone, ice cream, and pizza... There we go. Sorry for the noises. You both agreed on pretzels. Cove got something sweet and cinnamony, and you... I'm feeling cheese right now. I want a cheesy pretzel right now. Shit. You licked your lips hungrily as the vendor handed your pretzel over, ready to take a big bite. It was covered in gooey and melted cheese, just the way you liked it. It seemed odd to get a dessert pretzel before eating normal food. You found an empty table close enough to the beach that the grit of the sand made terrible noises when you dragged the chairs out to sit down. These balloons are gonna make it hard to eat. Cove placed his bucket on the table as he stared at his still balled-up hand that was wrapped around the string. You opened your mouth to agree before an idea hit you. I know! After carefully placing your pretzel somewhere it wouldn't get sandy, you tugged the balloon dolphin out of Cove's hand and tied it in a delicate bow around his wrist.
Oh.
Oh. Cove bounced his arm up and down in place, testing the stability of your knot. After watching his balloon jostle around but remain attached, he smiled satisfied. Can you do it for me? He repeated the ritual. Cove struggled somewhat with the cast, restricting his fingers on one hand and a string already tangled around the other. But the action made you feel strangely happy. You couldn't look him in the eyes.
Okay.
Got it. Two of you spent a moment admiring your handiwork, both hands now free to allow easy munching on your pretzels. You bit into the doughy treat, savoring the taste in your tongue with a smile as you looked out over the ocean. After a time, you finished your pretzel. You were done before Cove. It was boring not having anything to do. You pulled on the string of your dolphin to bring it down to your level. Oh, on your balloon. Then you held the dolphin in your hands, manipulating it to make it look like it was jumping through the air. If you turned to face towards the beach, it almost looked like it was swimming in the waves like a real dolphin. A laugh came from your side. When you glanced back at Cove, he had left the remaining part of his pretzel on the wrapper and he was gripping his dolphin too. Oh, what are we naming our dolphin? Mine's name is Splash. They star in movies. Their trainers use fish and treats to help them perform tricks. They're the most famous dolphin in the world. You sighed, wishing you could star in a movie with a real-life dolphin. What's yours? Cove considered this question, placing the balloon against the table and resting his free arm across it in contemplation. It's... With a loud pop, the dolphin exploded into ribbons. Oh, poor baby. Oh no. For a second, all Cove did was gape in shock like you. Then his cheeks puffed up, squinting his eyes, and you saw his tears starting to glisten. Baby, no! Ray, oh, baby! You can have mine, don't cry! Don't cry. You quickly pulled the knot around your wrist loose and passed your balloon over to Cope. It wasn't the same color, but you hoped Cope would accept it anyway. Here, you can have this one. Cove sniffled, a lone tear running down his cheek. No, I don't want to take yours from you. Then we're sharing. It's your turn to hold it. Really? Yeah, it's okay. Cove accepted the balloon delicately, probably to make sure this one didn't pop like the other. Thanks, Ray. Seeing him like that felt much better than keeping the dolphin for yourself. Aww. The passing of Cove's balloon was the last major event of your adventure. In the end, the two of you headed back later that afternoon. You separated on the beach, and while Cove went straight home with his brand new sand pail, you decided to sit for a while. You watched the waves and the sunset, fiddling with your new keychain. Another summer day was drawing to a close. It had been great going around with Cove. You hoped to do it again, but next time you wish nothing would make him cry. Alright! There we go! Gonna probably save over our old one, because I don't feel like making too many. Alrighty. We're probably gonna stop there, game-wise, not stream-wise. Now we're gonna draw, because my fucking throat hurts so bad. That was great, I'm glad. Thank you all for being here to watch me play my favorite game. Let me scooch this over. There we go. So we're gonna switch to drawing. I'm gonna keep the game up in the background just so we can keep the soundtrack, because it feels fitting. Hydrate, thank you. Oh, do I not have my redeem set up on this screen? Wait. Felina, do it again. It should have been. Wait, it should be on chatting? Wait. Felina, do it again. I'll drink more water, I swear, just do it again. I want you guys to see it. Or someone do the redeem. If you want to, there's no pressure. No? Okay. We'll go back to drawing. Alrighty. Let's draw Ray and Cove. Why not? Or Rex. Future Rex. Right now, Ray. You can't? Oh, that's okay. That makes sense. Sorry, I need to grab my drawing tablet. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Stylus. Alright. Let's draw Ray and Cove. First, let's draw Ray. Draw little baby Rex. I'm still gonna keep my Elfie. Actually, no. We'll go human ears for now. No, let's do elf ears. It stays out of stock? Oh, weird. I don't know why it's doing that. We'll check on it again later, see if it comes back. Cause that should not be happening. Sorry, I get very particular with my lines. I'm trying to get better at that. Should Rex have both of their eyes? It's a question I need to ask. Thank you, Felina. Thank you so much. I don't remember how much we need for that challenge. I'll have to check on that later. Come back, Clip Studio. Oh, wait, I'm already on it. Well, you know, we're gonna give them a little star eye patch. Why not? We're a little more than halfway. Nice. Very good, very good. That's what. Okay. Oh, wait. Racing here. Yeah, I adore that game with every part of my being for a lot of reasons. And honestly, a lot of them don't get shown in the first part. I mean, the first step, like where you're 8 years old, is very cute and very wholesome. But a lot of what I like comes in later parts. So, I'm excited to get to those. Alrighty. Can't wait to see, hell yeah. I'm definitely gonna keep streaming that game. No matter how much it hurts me, it hurts my throat. I love it too much. I love it too much. Oh, let me do something really quick. Sorry, just gonna do something real quick. Real quick, real quick, real quick. Okay. Boop. Boop. There we go. At least this game didn't hurt you like Ori. Yeah, true. I still love Ori, and I'm still gonna probably play it on stream, but yeah, that last one wasn't great. You have much bigger hair, and big long curly hair. Wavy. Thank you. There we go. Little Ray Rex. Cool. Now let's draw a little cove. We're still doing it in our live stream, so I want to draw a cove. So cute, thank you. Let's see. We get cove Holden. This one, this, that. And then put little man here. Zoom in. Make it smaller. There we go. Ah, come back, little man. Here's a little cove with his wavy ass eyebrows. Oh, I forgot my little firefly antennas. I thought we were already on the same layer. Oh, my throat hurts. Oh my god. I'm not someone who usually does fan art because I get too in my own head about it. But I'm trying to change that. That eye is not correct. I'm not good at drawing glasses that aren't circle. There's a cove. Not a good cove, but a cove. Here we go, we got the babies. My fucking foot hurts. Owie. Drink my water. The babies, yeah. Oh, I forgot to give him eye shines. There we go. Let's see what else we can draw right now. Oh, phone. You be quiet now. I am slightly debating ending stream. I'm tired and my throat fucking hurts. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. But I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys liked the game, at least from what you saw. It was very nice hanging out with y'all and playing my favorite game. Sorry, my nose. Alright. You guys have wonderful days. I love each and every one of you. It was a great stream. Yay, I'm glad. Alrighty. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.